What are you thinking about right now? Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. You know what? Stop. You're overthinking it. If you're anything like me, your anxiety and ADHD collaborate like people crashing out together in a Twitter thread, constantly in a tug of war, keeping me thinking about life, making money, potentially dying alone, or trying to determine the best possible script I can come up with for this video. So you haven't clicked away by now, because even with my 5 second attention span, uh, 4 second attention span, I've already forgot what I wanted to say.
You good?
Yeah, look, you want to know the secret to stop overthinking? Give us a few minutes and we'll show you how. So here's the deal. Believe it or not, we've been conditioned to overthink. Today, now more than ever, we simply have more to think about, more responsibilities, more problems to solve. Gone are the hunter gatherer days where the only impactful decisions we had to make were which berries are poisonous or not, or which animals will kill us if we try to pet them. Well, I guess we still have those problems today. But even more decisions to make, like what should I say in my presentation today? How much do I need to save to buy a house? What if I use some of that money to buy some cooler clothes so the barista at the coffee shop notices me, but she probably isn't single? I don't even like coffee. Why Riz? Whoa, 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 whoa. See what I'm saying? Stay with me. We simply overthink because we have a lot to think about. You know what else? I've already given you the first secret. We've been conditioned to overthink.
Get your hot breath off the camera. That's true, though. We've been conditioned to overthink because modern society values multitaskers, those who can think fast, who always have ideas and make important decisions. Those are the ones who survive in the workplace. And every decision you make is crucial for success. So we're always in a constant loop of evaluation where there can be no wrong answers. So we're so focused and forced to think all the time. And we get stuck in this loop we call overthink.
But that's not how it should be. This loop seems to fit more like a program in a computer, but our brains are actually not like computers. They have more potential than you think, and they make reducing or eliminating overthinking easier than you think. See what I did there? Easier to think. But what do I know? I'm just a programmer myself. Tiff, you know more about psychology than I do. Define overthink for us and spill the beans on the psych secrets behind overcoming overthink.
Sure thing. So, overthink can be defined as the process of repetitive, unproductive thinking. And related terms like rumination or dwelling on the past or just constantly thinking, analysis paralysis, sometimes related to perfectionism, overanalyzing, and worrying about the past or the future come to mind when it comes to overthinking. And you can identify signs of overthinking like experiencing lack of focus due to recurring thoughts about the same concerns. Maybe that's anxiety or catastrophizing situations, like always thinking about kind of if this happens, oh, then that will happen, and then that will happen, and then that will happen, or just constantly bringing up negative experiences. So, in most, if not all instances, it's unproductive for us and prevents us from finding real solutions to our thoughts or problems. So, like you said, our brains aren't programmed or hardwired to overanalyze or overthink. We overthink out of habit and out of fear of uncertainty. And our brains have evolved over time to produce more complex thoughts and store memories, allowing us to understand problems, plan ahead, solve, and learn from those problems. So, without getting too much into details and the neuroscience or brainy stuff, our brains are different from computers because we store vast amounts of information more than a computer can. But I think that the key is how our unconscious works in developing habits and defense mechanisms.
You mean like firewalls and timeout loops?
Not exactly. I don't even know what that really means, to be honest. But you see, overthinking is automatic self protection mechanism we taught ourselves to give us that feeling of control over various problems. And the key there is our feelings. So, because thinking is not a problem, we need to think. We need to think to survive. And we do that automatically. But when we add our emotions into the mix, like if we're feeling doubtful, that's when we begin to question if our thoughts or solutions are protecting us from an undesirable outcome. So it's kind of like when you order something from a menu and you have to order. a pizza online and you already know kind of what toppings you're wanting ahead of time, but you see the full list of toppings and you go into information overload and you just can no longer decide because there are so many different options and your brain can't help to think when it's given information like that. But when our emotions get into the mix, then we fire that overanalyzing mechanism that can sometimes prevent us from making a dangerous decision or a decision that isn't desired. But if you ask yourself, what's the most dangerous topping you'd expect to see on a pizza? So that's the psych secret behind it. Overthinking isn't a disorder or a serious condition. It's just a learned habit that we do kind of unconsciously when we feel we're in situations of uncertainty. And knowing that is the first step. So, knowing that we're overanalyzing isn't a disorder or a huge condition, um, knowing that is the first step to fixing it.
So knowing that, how do we fix overthink? When I think about how I can tune out the constant thoughts that come up when I'm overthinking, I think about tuning a radio. Now, for those who remember growing up, the days before Spotify, when all we had was the radio to listen to music on, going all the way to school, it was rough because they didn't always play the song that you wanted on your certain stations. They didn't always play your favorite music. And bro, back in 2017, the amount of times I heard Bad and Bougie on every station, bruh. But that's the thing. If we didn't want to hear what they were playing on a certain station, we'd tune the radio to a different station or just turn it down or tune it out. In a way, it's kind of similar to what I learned about how we handle our thoughts. We have a lot of unwanted thoughts that come up in our minds, and it can seem hard to ignore. But know that you do have the authority and control over them. All you have to do is change the station, think about something else, or tune them out. Just let the thoughts come in and go through mindfulness, right? Or just turn the radio off and just keep a quiet mind. The important thing is you don't have to stay on the same song, the same playlist, the same station. If what you're hearing in your head sucks, it's time to tune your brain to something better.
I agree. For example, if you have a big test or a presentation coming up, and those thoughts are racing in your mind about that, know it's a normal experience to have all that unwanted noise. And it's important to remember to take a step back, tune out, like you said in the radio example, and settle on only the thoughts you know are true, like the fact that you know the material and you do know what you're talking about. So, this home base is your station that you can tune to, and everything else can get tuned out. And so, I guess how I implement this in my life is when I'm overthinking, that first thing that I need to recognize for myself is that I'm overthinking because sometimes when we're in that thought loop, we don't know that we're in that thought loop. We're just keep going down this path of fear and uncertainty and anxiety and all the things. So, just noticing it because when I'm aware of it, then I have more control where I want to navigate my thoughts. I have more control on tuning the radio station if I'm aware that I'm overthinking. And I don't want to be overthinking at all. So I literally just tell myself to stop. When I notice I'm in my overthinking tracks, I just tell myself to stop. Catch it. Catch it, which is noticing it, and then control it, telling it to stop. The 4 C's, this technique that I learned: catch it, control it. The other 2 C's are challenge it and change it, are the things that can help us when we are overthinking. If you're wanting to challenge that thought, recognizing that those thoughts aren't true, they're not reality most of the time. So just challenging it. Oh, is this true? Is this rooted in reality? And then that last one, change it if you can change it or you want to change it. And the change might be just not allowing yourself to continue down that loop or changing it to a different thought that would be helpful.
Yep. So there you have it. The secrets behind overcoming overthink. It's a lot simpler than you think. One, we've been kind of conditioned to overthink. But two, it's just a natural mechanism we developed. That's all. The main thing you want to remember is just you have the ability to tune it out or tune to something better. We hope you enjoyed this short video. This has been Twisdom Media. Hope to see you in the next video and in our podcast.
Bye, y'all.
You're